Welcome into the Junction, where we're trying to make connections between Ardmorites. I'm Ardmore Leader News Director Michael Dean Smith, and joining us in the Junction this week is an Ardmore native, now the Executive Director of the Strength in Numbers Foundation, Mr. Marchello Anderson. Mr. Anderson, thanks for joining us in the Junction this week.
Sir, thank you for having me.
So I've been reading a little bit about Strength in Numbers. It looks like you guys do some stuff that people in Ardmore might be familiar with, maybe people in Ardmore aren't familiar with. But just to get started, just give us a quick rundown of who Strength in Numbers is and kind of how long you've been around and what your goals are.
Strength in Numbers Foundation, we are a mentorship nonprofit. And so we specialize in teaching young men and young women life skills. We host life skills sessions every second Saturday of the month. Most of those sessions take place at the HFV Wilson Community Center. And then once the weather kind of gets nice and everything, we get the kids outside and do different things at different locations to kind of, get them out the classroom, because they've been in the classroom with school all year. And so once the weather gets nice, we just try to do different things with children and get them different experiences and, just show them new places, new things. Mm-hmm. Strength in Numbers Foundation, we were founded in March of 2021. And so we recently had our anniversary this month with our life skills programs. We celebrated 4 years with our young men, and we celebrated 1 year with our young ladies. And so we had a pretty good turnout for I think we had upwards of about 50 kids that showed up for our session. And we hosted that event at the YMCA. We partnered with them. And we had the opportunity to take the kids to the YMCA and for them to introduction to swimming lessons.
Okay.
And so that was a great experience for kids. And then they also got to play some dodgeball and play basketball and just were able to, be kids that day. We didn't have any topic or anything that but, and we usually don't on our anniversary day. It's just a day to have fun. And we do raffle drawings for some prizes and we get cake and cupcakes and, we just celebrate, the birth of the life skills sessions, and we celebrate kids and just aiming, for the kids to be better and have the tools that they need in life to be successful.
I was going to ask, what are some of those life lessons that you're trying to impart on the young men and women here in Ardmore? And who are some of these people that are actually helping to teach these life lessons?
Just a few topics, just to name a few. We do, earning respect and giving respect, decision making, being able to identify your strengths and weaknesses, hygiene, and just different topics like that. Just your basic necessities, are things that we touch base with kids. A lot of the mentors that do mentor with us, they're people there in the community that have been born and raised and grown up in Ardmore as well. And, just all see that it's a need, at this day and age, to instill these moral values into our kids so that it can be well-rounded and balanced individuals, as they go through life. And so we all just have the same common goal, just to pour into our kids so that they can be productive citizens of society.
Okay. Sounds like you're kind of giving them some foundation to build on as they start getting older, going from teenagers into young adults and stuff like that. And you said a lot of these are going on at HFV Wilson. Was that right?
Yes, most of our sessions take place at HFV Wilson Community Center. And as we said, this for April session, we were at the YMCA.
Okay.
And then in May, I usually do a Mother's Day celebration that I do for mothers on Mother's Day weekend. And so for the last 2 years, we've taken the kids into the park with us, and they help us set up for that event, and we let them have fun that day in the park and, play basketball and just run around and be kids. And then we have bounce house water slides too. So we let the kids get on there and have fun with those things as well. I know in June, we do a car wash and a bake sale that we host at Carter County Dodge.
Okay.
And so, like we said, once the summer months come along and it's nice outside, we try to get the kids outside and get them active. And then, we also try to get our kids involved in any events that we have going on in regards to, community resource district We want the kids to also, understand what it looks like, to give back to the community. It looks like to volunteer, and help out people in the community as well.
Okay. So giving them a little bit of an outlet as well to learn how to give back. That's amazing.
Yes.
So we're talking with Marchello Anderson. He's the executive director of Strength in Numbers. I want to talk about too this community garden that that you guys have started up. I've been seeing a little bit about it on Facebook. What's the story with this, and kind of what prompted Strength in Numbers to get a community garden going?
Well, the community garden that we now have, it used to be my uncle, Carl Joshua Loftus. He had a nonprofit foundation called the Martin Luther King Community Garden, and that was his program that he had. He would teach kids in the community horticulture and agriculture, and how to farm the land. And so he had a internship set up to where the kids could come and work in the garden. He actually paid them. And so I have friends that I've grown up with, that have reached out to me since we started this operation and this mission of revitalizing the garden, that was their first job growing up as a kid. And so that's one of the many reasons why I feel like, my uncle's legacy needs to live on. He did a lot of great things with this garden for the community. And so I have friends that also reach out to me that, come and give my uncle his flowers, for having that garden there. And they just have very fond memories of some of the produce that came from that garden. And just a lot of great memories. When we started the nonprofit foundation, I had spoke with him about, what was his thoughts on me taking over the garden, because it had been dormant for some years. And, with us teaching the young kids life skills, I told him what would be a better life skill than teaching the kids how to farm the land. I think nowadays, if you ask a kid where does fruits and vegetables come from, they'll probably tell you Walmart,
Yeah.
And so we all know that rabbit hole goes a little bit deeper than, produce coming from Walmart. And so, it was something that we talked about in the very beginning. And then in the midst of us trying to get, Strength in Numbers Foundation going, I lost communication with my uncle. And so last year, we touched base with each other and we spoke again. And he asked me that I still want to get the garden. And I told him absolutely. And so last year, he signed the deeds over to Strength in Numbers Foundation. And so the process actually started last year of us trying to get everything going with the garden. And so here we are now, in April, and we're ready to sow seeds at our next volunteer day, which will be on May 3rd. And so it's been a journey, but one that I've truly enjoyed. And so our main focus and goal, once again, will be to be able to get the kids out in the garden, and teach them how to farm the land as well. And I feel like that garden will also be a staple in the community to where there can be community bonds that can be created and made, amongst the individuals in the community. I think that garden will bring many walks of life, to it, because there's lots of people that love to garden, and grow plants and vegetables and flowers. And so I'm just really excited at the potential that this mission could really bring for our community in regards to bringing people together for one common goal, and that's to nourish, and provide nutrient-rich, fresh plants and vegetables, and for our community.
Mm-hmm. Are you still looking for volunteers to help out with that community garden? And if so, are there any sort of specific traits or talents that you're looking for in volunteers?
Yeah, we're looking for volunteers. We want anybody, that wants to come out to definitely come out and partake, in the volunteering of getting the garden back together. If they want to come out on May 3rd, they are more than welcome to. We'll have a sign-in sheet. We like to take track of everybody that comes out to the garden. We would ask that they would leave us their information.
Mm-hmm.
That way that we can get them all on our volunteer list. And, once we get the garden going full throttle, we would like to delegate, different jobs out to different people,
Mm-hmm.
to come out and do different things. But no, if you are somebody that's a seasoned gardener and you'd like to come out and lend a hand and some of your wisdom and knowledge of gardening, we welcome you out. If there's anybody that never gardened before, but you want to learn how to do it, we welcome you as well. And so, to those that have the most knowledge of gardening, to those that have none at all, and in between, we welcome everybody out, to come out and socialize and congregate in the garden and just enjoy it and just have a good time.
Yeah, sounds like a good way to kind of learn from some of your neighbors too. Some cool gardening tips as well. Where
Yes, exactly.
where is this community garden at, and what kind of crops are you guys looking at growing this season?
The community garden is located, it's one block behind the Gloria Ainsworth Daycare Center. So it's on the corner of 7th and H Northeast.
Okay.
And it's about an acre, a little bit over an acre of a lot. And so you can't miss it. And so far, I've got some seedlings that I've started at home, and I have some bell peppers, I have some okra, jalapenos, cabbage, carrots, some cucumbers, squash, and then I have some other committee members that have some seeds and everything that we're also planning on planting as well.
Okay.
I had a good friend reach out to me just yesterday, and he told me, "Hey, man, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to till up the ground in one of those areas. I'm going to plant some corn for you." He's like, "You don't need to be there. I'm just going to go out there and just do it myself." He's like, "I just wanted to give you a heads up." And so there are people that I know in the community that just kind of take charge like that, and I don't mind it. I just people that are moved in their spirit, and feel a need to be a part of this garden to make it thrive and be what it can truly be. I want them to be there. You know what I mean? And so this has just been a grand thing, that we've started, with Strength in Numbers Foundation, and I just can't wait to see, what this mission brings to the community.
What do y'all plan on doing with some of the crops once things get harvested?
Well, we most definitely would like to be able to donate, to those who need. And then we would also like to be able to, market some of the vegetables and fruits, to be able to bring back some revenue into the nonprofit foundation as well, to be able to, finance some of our programs and events that we do host under the foundation. And so we also would like to, once we get things up and going, we'd like to try to partner with, maybe the local food bank, and then maybe even with some restaurants, if we could provide, tomatoes and jalapenos or lettuce or things of that nature that some of the local restaurants may need. I would love to partner with them or have contracts with them to where we could provide fresh fruits and vegetables from right there in the town.
That would be awesome. Well, one of the goals of the Junction, this segment on this podcast, is to build some connections between Ardmorites. So hopefully there may be somebody out there who is listening to this and getting some ideas and can reach out to you, and we'll see what we can do with some of this food after things get grown. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And like I say, this is a community garden. And so we welcome anybody, and it's already been a great community effort. I've made posts, asking people if they could donate lumber to us, or any pallets to where we could make planter beds. And so I've had a friend that I DJ'd her wedding a while back, and her name is David Davis, and she works for McCoy's in Gainesville. And
Mhm.
so she seen my post, and her boss at McCoy's, they donated us some 4x4s about a month ago. And I have another good friend named Jermaine Dennison, and his job donated us about 20 pallets here just a couple of weeks ago. I just had a young man by the name of Josh Miller. I had made a post stating that I needed some topsoil, for our planter beds. And so he was able to get us a haul of screen dirt for our beds, and his company is Miller Sand and Gravel. And so, like I say, it's already been a community effort with us just even trying to get things off the ground. And I'm so appreciative and so grateful for everybody that has reached out to me, and stepped up, and provided whatever it is that they could provide for us. And I just want to let all those individuals know that, no matter how small, the donation is or how grand it is, we greatly appreciate it. And it just means the world to me. And it's just one of those things that reminds me of why I do what I do, and why it's so special, whenever you allow people of the community to come together, to help those in need. There's just no better feeling. And I want everybody to, kind of get that feeling as well, And so, like I say, we just welcome everybody out that wants to be a part of this mission. Anybody that wants to volunteer with any of the events that Strength in Numbers has going on, like, we welcome everybody.
If anybody does want some more information about how they can get in touch with or even volunteer with Strength in Numbers, what's a good way for them to get in touch with you or the organization?
We have our Facebook page, which is Strength in Numbers Foundation. And then we also have our website, which is strengthinnumbersfoundation.com. Or you can also reach us by email at strengthinnumbersfoundation@gmail.com. And then we also have our office space there in Ardmore, which is located at the Newstead Plaza. And that is 333 West Main in Suite 466. And our secretary's hours in the office are Tuesday through Thursday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
All right, strengthinnumbersfoundation.com, strengthinnumbersfoundation@gmail.com, or you can head over to their office at the Newstead Plaza, Suite 466, you said, here in downtown Ardmore?
Yes, sir.
All right. Marchello Anderson, Executive Director with Strength in Numbers. Thank you so much for joining us in the Junction this week and telling us a bit more about this, and hopefully we'll get to touch base soon and see how that community garden comes along this summer.
Hey, you're welcome, and thank you so much for having us on. This means the world to us. And again, just thank you for your platform to be able to spread awareness of the great things the Strength in Numbers Foundation is providing for the Carter County community.
You're listening to this podcast, and so are a lot of other people in Southern Oklahoma. Ardmore Leader is about one thing: local. Local news, local events, and local business. So don't just buy another ad. Invest in your business. 319-9688 or visit ardmoreleader.com. Work with Ardmore Leader today, and let's find new ways to tell your story to a local audience.
Quality Printing in Marietta can't give you a single reason to keep your business local, because there are just too many reasons. From turnaround times you need to the personalized service you want, Quality Printing in Marietta can do something those online services can't. We can listen to your needs. Quality Printing in Marietta, 276-3255, or visit qualityprintingok.com.